Hello and welcome to the second installment of Unsolved Mysteries of the Wasteland. Tonight's tale, we are looking at the cold case of Calvin Van Lowe and the mythical creature, this sheep squatch. Some will say it's real. Some will say it's just a myth. What is the truth? We will find out as we hear from two witnesses. One, a detective working for the Valentine Detective Agency, and the other, an eyewitness to an encounter right outside the metal dome. So what do you think? Have you encountered a sheep squatch? Are they real? Let's find out.
Detective Spin here. I work for the Valentine Detective Agency Appalachia branch, and shortly after we opened, we got our very first missing persons case for one missing person, Calvin Van Lowe, but it wasn't a family member or relative that reported him missing or brought that to our attention, but rather it was just a regular scrapper who came across a poster put up by his sister Shelley about how the sheep squatch had ate him. And what came afterwards was just this really wild tale of a 16-foot monster. Can you believe that? So, of course, we took the case. That was our very first missing persons case, and it was a cold case, so it was an older one. The guy Calvin had been missing for some time, and so our client paid us in caps because he was really afraid of the sheep squatch.
Yeah, I totally saw it. I was picking up some scrap for the Rust Eagles, and I dropped it off up at the metal dome, and I was like, oh, well, I'm back on the train tracks and see if I can't pick up any more scrap to sell, because Sunny Stop Station's just down the road. I can walk there. So I'll just walk down the train tracks, and I had a new jetpack modification, and I was like, oh, well, as I'm walking down, I'll test it out, and it was still like broad daylight, and I'm just walking down, mind my own business, looking around for some ore, or for any good loot, scrap, and then just it just popped up, and I wasn't even that far from the metal dome when yeah, and it'll just pop there, and I was like, oh shit, I shit my pants. It's huge. I have 16 foot tall. It was glowing. It was bad. I was just lucky I had my gun with me. I had a chainsaw with me because I've been doing logging and stuff earlier. I had a kit, and then the adrenaline got pumping, and we fought hard. We just fought it out. We just fought it out, and I won. But that son of a bitch was tough. And I lived to tell the tale about it. And when I went down to Sunny Top, I found something that said sheep squatch ate my brother. Yeah, and then I went on down to where the poster pointed me to, which is that down south there, and found out man, sheep squatch has been running around for a long time. And then I ran into a trader and got this outfit, and I thought I'd better kill somebody about it and get somebody on this case, because this guy named Calvin Van Lowe, he been gone missing for a long time, and his sheep squash got him. He ate him up. Ate him up. So now I don't go nowhere without this outfit, because next time I run into one, maybe you just think I'm one of them and leave me alone. Cause hey, that some bitch was tough.
Well, after we interviewed our client thoroughly, we decided to take a walk in his footsteps. So we headed up to the Metal Dome, and we were going to walk from the Metal Dome down to Sunnytop Station along the train tracks, just like he did. So we got up there, and we started walking down the train tracks, and we didn't find any signs of a monster or a dead monster's body or a sign of a fight. We did think that we heard something, but when we looked around, there was nothing there. So maybe it was just a wolf or a wild dog. But yeah, we continued on. We walked the entire length from Metal Dome to Sunnytop Station or Sunnytop Station. Nothing. It was a very peaceful hike. It's a bit of a walk. But no sheep squatch. We didn't get attacked by any kind of monster, really, other than the normal wasteland kind. When we got to one of the bridges, we came up against some super mutants. We took care of that. They were hostile, so yeah, but that's regular wasteland stuff. I mean, where do you go that you don't run into a mutant? But yeah, so the day was getting on. It was a little bit early evening by the time we got to Sunnytop Station. Nice little station, right by the top of the world, over by Rose. And if you haven't met Rose, you should. She's great, great gal. But yeah, in Sunnytop Station, we did find the poster our client was talking about. The one that said a sheep squatch ate my brother. So we took down the details from this poster, and we packed up and prepared to head down south to Lewisburg. We just had to get proper transportation because we were a little bit tired from the walk. Well, once in Lewisburg, we headed down to Van Lowe Taxidermy, place that was owned by the Van Lowe's, Calvin's family, and then changed hands to Shelley, his sister, who was searching for him. And we do know that Shelley did not believe in the sheep squatch. But she also knew that her brother was not mentally stable. Calvin was a very highly intelligent young man, but he also was very obsessed with cryptids and was part of a cryptid hunting team. And the team just disbanded when he went to university, and then he went to work for the Bashi company, and that company was concerned. There was some people that was really concerned with his mental state, and rightly so. But they did send him on an assignment, and the assignment required him to come back to Lewisburg, and he ended up selling the taxidermy to the Bashi company so they could put in a robotics lab in the basement so that they could continue on with their plan. And the plan was for Calvin to make a robotic imposter cryptid to scare the people of the town and drive the property prices down so that they could buy up the town. But Calvin was still a little broken mentally, and he was still really obsessed, very obsessed with the sheep squatch. So we found evidence of his tracking the sightings and things like that of quote unquote the real sheep squatch. We also found writings on his terminal where he was trying to remind himself that it wasn't real. But there was a part of Calvin that was obviously broken. And in the lab in the basement is where we found our first real evidence of Calvin Van Lowe. So what we found the secret entrance right by the laundry machine. So you just had to figure out how to set the washer or the dryer, and the actual entrance button was on the calendar. But we got in. We found that and we got in. And we found our first physical evidence of what happened to Calvin. And we also found one of his final recordings. So yeah, that almost broke our case, and we almost called it quits there. But we also found a couple other interesting things. So one of the things is the Bashi company really kept tabs on him. And there was a handler named Wolf, or codenamed Wolf, that was in charge of looking after this whole project and making sure that nobody knew what was really happening. And if Calvin missed a couple check-ins, then the Wolf would have to come and clean it up. So now we were wondering, did Calvin really succumb to his robotic creation? Or did Wolf end his life? But yeah, what we found in the basement was a tape where Calvin was trying to lure out the real sheep squatch by reprogramming the Bashi company's imposter sheep squatch with mating rituals of the sheep squatch. And with trying to override this programming, it was going to let the company know what he was up to, like ping the company. And he didn't want that to happen. So he said, override, and it was mistaken for overwrite, and the whole programming of the imposter sheep squatch was overwritten with becoming a sheep squatch monster. And subsequently, it mauled him, and we found a lot of blood. We also found a lot of empty med kits, so we were thinking that he actually survived this attack. But did he survive his encounter with Wolf? So our second kind of missing person, or person that we needed to track down, was Wolf. So going back through the house, we gathered up all the coded messages and found a couple of coordinates, and that sent us up to Baston Park. So we headed out of Lewisburg toward Baston Park, and when we got to the park, we found evidence that Wolf was there, and he was meeting with somebody else, and that other person was keeping kind of tabs on Calvin also. But the evidence trail didn't leave off there. We actually ended up going to a few different places to track down Wolf. So from Baston Park, we looked all around. There was evidence of drugs. So I don't know if Calvin and them was into the drugs or at Kim's, but that would really explain a little bit of his mental state. But that's one question that I don't think we'll be able to answer fully. But we did. We searched the park thoroughly. We found, we gathered up all the evidence of Wolf and Bo Peep. And we went on from there to the next place that we knew that Wolf had been. And that was down at Saul Granger's, down in Beckley. So we went to, we traveled again, more south. We went to Saul Granger's and we looked. This is where we found out that Wolf kind of got a buzz about what Calvin was doing. Calvin is missing his check-ins. Probably missing his check-ins because he was seriously injured. But Wolf probably didn't know that at the time. So this is where the story kind of branches. We still need to know what happened to Calvin. Wolf may have been the last person to see him alive. We don't know, so we're still looking for Wolf at this time. And so we continued on our journey, and we found a lot more clues and evidence around Sal Grinders. So this was really a kind of a big break in the case of learning how far this company was going to go. If Calvin missed his second check-in, then Wolf was ordered to clean up the entire project. So clean up, kill, destroy, get rid of, but he did not. The lab is still intact, and the sheep squatch is apparently still out there, because we're still getting reportings of sightings. After we took the case, you know, a lot of people are pouring those sightings into our office, so we were still getting a lot of reports. And Wolf had not destroyed Calvin's lab or Van Lowe taxidermy at all, so I think they're both still out there. Or at the time when we were at Sal Grinders, I was thinking that they were both still out there. One of our final stops was at the Garahan Estates. So Wolf had went there, and so we went to check that out. So we were just really almost one step behind Wolf. We're just everywhere he goes, we're getting there just a little bit late. And rightly so, because this is a cold case. So this happened years ago, but it seemed like that we were just keeping in with these just like little steps. Like his investigation was now our investigation. But yeah, we went to Garahan's. We found some messages from Wolf. And upstairs on the very top floor is where we found our biggest clue. And, well, what happened next was just a little bit more intense. But we got the coordinates off of a computer that was upstairs, and an old car in the trunk. Wolf had left some items. Calvin Van Lowe was not his priority anymore. His priority was this rogue robot, and he found a way to set up an ambush for this robot. And when we got to the ambush site, we found he did not make it. This rogue robot had already killed another member that was looking after Calvin, and then Wolf. So before we started the whole shebang, we got prepared, and when it was time to go, we sent out an alert to everybody in the area to bring to come and help out if they wished, and if they were going to come armed, heavily armed and prepared for a fight. And then we waited. For a bit for people to show up. When people started showing up, we triggered the recall system. So from what we knew from Wolf, this was going to be tough. But he had set it up so the pylons would make it vulnerable to attack. So we were picking up where Wolf had left off. Where he failed, we weren't going to fail. We had a good team, and we had great help from the area. Our alert went out, and a lot of people showed up, ready for a fight. They knew this was serious, and we were ready to go. We really kind of knew what to expect, but not fully knew what to expect. So we got armored up. We powered up the recall system, and we were waiting for the pylons to boot up. And all the robots in the area started coming at us, and they were hostile. So this recall not only is recalling the imposter sheep squatch that Calvin had built, but it was recalling all of the robots in the area. And we had a lot of hostilities. And we didn't know, but the rogue sheep squatch was cloaked, had cloaking technology. So that was another difficult thing. I guess that's why Wolf had another reason why Wolf had set up the pylons. But it was also pretty tough. It took a lot of damage. Took a lot of damage, and it was a fight. But like I said, we had the help there. We were prepared ourselves. We kept our heads, and we took it down. We took the robot down. So we finished what Wolf had started. But now we know what happened to Wolf. He had passed. And now the only question remains is, did Calvin survive his encounter with that robotic sheep squatch? So that was our final question. And after going through what we went through to actually take it down and get the sheep squatch out of the way, or the imposter sheep squatch, this robot, I don't see how Calvin could have survived an attack from that. I mean, we were taking hits. We were helping each other. We had to do some field medic. It was a fight. It was definitely a fight. But I will say, concerning the eyewitness from earlier, it wasn't 16 foot tall. It was the size of an assaultron. It wasn't green, and it wasn't glowing. And so we put that one to rest. And there we go. Sheep squatches no more in Appalachia. Everybody can rest safe. They won't run into one. And as far as Calvin, there's no way he could have survived that attack.
I know what the detective said, but I'll tell you, the D90 carrier, it wasn't metal. It was 16 foot tall. It was green. It was glowing. It was flesh. It wasn't no robot, and I know robots. I work scrapping for the metal dome. And it wasn't no robot. That was flesh. That was a monster. They're out there. I don't care what anybody says. They're out there.
And there you have it. Another tale of unsolved mysteries of the wasteland. The sheep squatch. Truly a myth. Or is it? And Calvin? Dead to his own creation. Until next time.